In front of almost every piece of property, there's an old boat that hasn't seen water for about 20 years. You know, it's kind of sad.
It never really turned out the way it was supposed to.
One day the DEC came with their dynamite, and as I understand it, it took them 2 tries to blow it up. Luxton Lake is probably one of the most beautiful lakes in this part of New York State.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's still beautiful, but you know, just a few things missing.
It originally was about 79 acres. It's just in a nice part of the Catskills.
There was a man named Luxton, and he had owned the lake.
It wasn't a very deep lake, but it was a long one, and it's just a matter of putting this dam that they put in there into position.
Everybody had a dream of being in the country.
During the summer, it was a tourist area. The recreational activity was just what the rivers and the streams and the woods provided.
There were several boarding houses around. Ours was the Homestead boarding house. City people used to come and stay. They say as soon as we go back, we start putting money into a jar to come up the next summer.
Back in those days, the people didn't expect a lot of entertainment. They found it very pleasurable just to go into the 10-mile river, dip their feet in the water, or go up to the Tustin Park and row some boats.
This spot was just a wonderful place to be in the summertime. And even in the wintertime, because we came up in the winter as well.
Hunting season, I think, was the best time of the year. We had the hunters down to the boarding house. They used to say to me when I'd be waiting on table, "Mabel, I wish you'd wear shoes that we could hear you coming." Of course, my husband was right out there with them all the time.
Somehow it was decided that this was going to be a black community. They called it Lucky Lake. I don't know, somehow it was lucky. It was marketed to people with limited income who were looking for an escape from the city. If you're coming from Brooklyn or Queens or something like that, it's about a 3-hour ride. They did a lot of promotion, and they had black movie stars and sports figures come up here.
They came with a busload anyway, and they had this one ball player.
They had Willie Mays as a spokesman for him.
And they gave him a piece of property, and this was a come-on. So then they all bought, and they put up nice homes there.
Noble Sissel, he was a jazz musician.
Noble Sissel, he was top band leader back in the 30s.
He had a house right across the street from the lodge.
That was his house right there. That first yellow house you see on the left.
He taught me how to fish. He was a real nice older man. He's the one who showed me how to put the worm on the hook and how to be quiet when you're fishing instead of talking and just be patient. And a number of his friends came from the jazz world.
I mean, I understand that Louis Armstrong had property up here, and it was basically at one time a completely black community with the theme was basically jazz.
Well, they didn't come up here to entertain. They came up here on vacation, and the water was the draw. Except to go and buy popsicles, the clubhouse was pretty much off limits to me. The clubhouse got to have a reputation of being like a night spot, not only in the community, but in the area.
Many years ago, there was an electrician when he was around 18 or 19 years old, and his father didn't want him to frequent the place because it was owned by black people at the time. And he used to sign a phony name, so his father would never be able to find out that he was in here, but he used to come in here basically every single week.
They had music, they had bands. My husband and I was down there different times, and I don't know just who all they were.
It was mostly New York City type of music. I don't recall any country western.
Even when I was a child, there was talk about a need to repair the dam.
We had some real heavy rains at times.
Water would go over the top of the dam. And the dam was more than 100 years old.
The dam itself was very little. It was just a capping over a natural rock formation.
It was just a dam with a wooden, I guess you'd call it a deck, that you could go across. And it became a question of whose responsibility it was to take care of the repairs.
Lucky Lake Estates, they were the ones that should have made sure that that dam was kept in good condition. The finishing touch is when they started putting the heavy trucks across that dam.
And that's when they had opened the road on this side.
They didn't start out by building a bridge first. They put logs across the top of the dam, and they were running trucks across there.
They say logging. I didn't see logging because I didn't purchase until after they had finished logging everything they wanted over here.
And Jim and I saw the dam had a crack in it and said, what do you think about this? You think it's going to break? Nah. I said, no, this dam's been here since 1925. It's going to be here long after. But we found out later that the town, apparently they were having trouble with the DEC. There were plans that were constantly disapproved.
It was decided that the dam was going to be removed for the safety of the houses downstream.
The DEC was responsible, and they acted in the manner that was the safest for the people below that dam.
And nobody did anything until one day the DEC came with their dynamite.
Somebody forced somebody to break the dam.
And as I understand it, it took them 2 tries to blow it up. One shot of dynamite didn't take the dam down. They had to do it twice.
I was here the day when they took the dam down and the water went out.
What was that like?
I watched the whole lake go out in about a few hours.
And the last of the water, just went out. And that was it.
It was something, there was a lot of water. It didn't harm anybody. It didn't damage anybody, We were just missing the lake.
As far as the folks that lived down there, they didn't want it taken out because without the lake there, their property was worth nothing.
The Luxton Lake Property Owners Association decided to sue the town of Tustin for the loss of the lake, and they lost the case.
After the dam was taken out, 90% of the residents down there just abandoned the property.
They passed away, and the places just decayed, a lot of them.
The community really suffered by the loss of this lake.
You can see where the woods is coming into it now, and it's difficult now to pick out where the lake was.
It really shows you where the lake was, and now the river, running through it.
It's gone. I got the memories. I got it here.
When I take my vacation in heaven, what a wonderful time that will be. Hearing concerts by the heavenly chorus, and the smiles of the angels I'll see, sitting down on the banks of the river, neath the shade of the evergreen tree. I shall rest from my burdens forever. Won't you take your vacation with me?
You folks just have to make it happen from here on in. See? Us old fogies are out of here.